What's up, everybody? Picasso here. Just a quick little market review on Monday evening, the 18th of December. So yeah, this is basically I just want to run through these coins pretty quick and just kind of summarize to start that cryptocurrency as a whole is experiencing the next big wave. This is going to run for a couple months, but I just want to really show you guys what I'm seeing here because things are starting to look now to me the way that they looked back in March, before a lot of the altcoins made some really big runs. And so this was to be expected trading market cycles that once those market cycles ended and they go through all the phases of the emotional cycle that they needed to go through, that the trends are going to start again. And we're starting to see that again now. And with this just rapid expanse of growth of cryptocurrency, it's happening. So I'm just going to roll through some of these trades here and just kind of break down the analysis I see. First, let's talk about ADA or Cardano. Here was the original entry down here. Just back here. All right. Back in this area, like I said, once we saw it ramping up here, we wanted to get in here. Now, I raised the target on this up into the 2500 zone. And this thing is just flagging up and becoming more and more bullish. So I'm just going to lay out some targets for this entire market structure that this thing is forming here. And just kind of lay out what I would be looking for because a lot of markets are going to be moving in the next couple months, especially in the next couple weeks here. So I just kind of want to lay out some parameters of what to be expecting because a lot of these are turning into longer plays or where we could get a lot more strength in the market and push us to some higher levels. So the way that I'm trading, most of you guys know that have taken the course and have been following me for a while, is, this is all, to me, Elliott wave theory and market cycles and emotional cycles over and over. So once this move right here was a pretty large move, let me go back here a little bit. Look at the 6 hour real quick. Okay, yeah. This went flat, or relatively flat, okay, in this zone for quite some time. And then so we have this larger move right here that held at 88% retracement. So basically when we look at this way, okay, it was actually 78.6% retracement. This is the kind of buy zone that we're looking at for the next move. We missed that initial buy zone, so that's why I was saying when I saw it ramping up here on the hourly that we got in. Now, the way that I trade and how everything's related to Fibonacci is that this initial move, this initial impulsive move, it lays out the extensions and kind of like the map of targets of where you could go next, higher in price. So the initial target zone was up in here, back up to 1600 for a 100% retrace back up. And then we moved it up here to about the 2500 zone, right here, basically the 1.618 area, okay? Now it's making, you can see what's going on here. Let's go back to the hourly. It basically turned this zone right here into support now. And it looks like it wants to rally up a little bit further. So if you were still in this, I would look to maybe look for here to get rid of a little bit more of it. But then when you really look at the bigger picture for cryptocurrency and all this money that's coming in, it's worth a hold really up to here. Okay, if you really want to hold this thing, I would hold this thing now to here, up into these levels. Or get back into it if it falls back down here, but understand now that the momentum is there to manifest this on a larger scale. Like this could be the pre-pump wave, and now we're getting the real impulsive structure out of it. So that's what I'm looking at for ADA. I sold most of it 2,600. I may go back in, but I'm also looking at a couple other coins. But I just wanted to lay this out for people who were talking about how they like this coin for a longer term hold. It would be worth a little bit longer of a hold, but it was worth a good swing right in here where we got it to about there, like 200 and some percent or whatever that we could pull out of it. Now I think it's going to go a little bit more. As long as it stays within this flow of breaking this pennant, it could continue up to the higher Fibonacci extensions, especially with this. I mean, the money that's coming in right now. Let's look at this real quick. 596,000. That was earlier. 618 billion. So we're going to smash through $1 trillion, I would say, by the beginning of the year. Like I said, I really think that Bitcoin is going to go into the six figures a lot faster than previously thought, and that's going to take a lot of money to do that. So we're kind of ramping up, and the more money that comes in, the faster it comes in. We're seeing billions of dollars coming and going, but the market cap is increasing. The buzz is buzzing. The trend is growing. The adoption rate is growing. So that's why I would hold this one a little bit longer and see if it can't get a nice market cycle out of this coin while the momentum is there, because this entire game is a game of momentum and market cycles. So right now the momentum is there in cryptocurrency, and this thing now has enough momentum and interest that it will probably paint itself up, something like this, and maybe even hit these higher levels. But then it will come back down like this over the coming months. But the momentum is there, and it is still in the buy side of the market for the bigger picture of the market cycles. Let's keep moving here. Let's just talk about Bitcoin Cash, because it's definitely breaking out towards the 3,000, 3,500 zone. This is where I see this one going here. We kind of laid this out a little while ago. Once it broke here, it kind of showed that after it made this impulsive move and held right here and then went sideways and it broke up, it was an indication that it opened the door to creating a higher target zone. The fact that it didn't fall down, sell down further, and do a further retracement. You look for clues along the way. Like once this thing broke out here, it was an indication the market's strong. It wanted to remain above 1,200. Then it came here, it tested it several times, and then it ramped up, and now we're getting that impulsive move up into the 3,000s. So my next target on this one would be 33 to 3,500, depending on where the momentum is in the market and the sentiment is in the market when we get there. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin just about fell down to this trend right here that it established when it broke out from the longer-term logarithmic resistance line right here. So now this is basically gearing up to do another push-up. Everything's the same on this, basically looking for 25 and then back down to 20 and then up to about 33 in this kind of a push in this wave. And I think at the same time that this happens, we will see the bigger market cap alts move at the same time, and some of the smaller cap alts will probably fall back to their support levels or retracement levels. But I think a lot of the money is coming in at the same time, and it's going to be enough to sustain a lot of these markets with substantial growth. I mean, I'm looking at a lot of these altcoins that look like they could potentially go 10 times in price in the beginning of 2018. I think 2018, the first 6 months are going to be very impulsive for cryptocurrency. I really think that there's a possibility that Ethereum could reach half a Bitcoin in price, or up into the 5 digits US dollar price. So as that happens, we're seeing that line up with a lot of the altcoin charts that could really just expand in price from here. All right, and I do think that's going to happen at the same time as Bitcoin increasing in price. It may just be a little game of ebb and flow, and playing support levels and clouds and different levels of fallback where coins could fall back to, but they would just create more buying opportunities. I just want to show you what I'm talking about, for instance, like with bigger pictures getting ready to play out. Like let's look at DGB here. All right. Let me take it off the log chart. Okay. Looks to me here that DGB, look at the amount of volume that just went in here. This is about the same amount of volume that went into the beginning of the pump the first time. So this is a market cycle. It completed. It went all the way back down, basically beat almost 100% retrace right here. But then it comes back down to respecting previous breakout zones. This thing retraced deeper, but it respected this height right there, which is basically this level right here. Like it respected this point right here where it found support and broke out. So it did a retracement of this entire move, but it found support right here. Lots of volume going in. So what happens when market cycles complete themselves and there's new market interest and there's new momentum in the market and new buyers stepping in, it creates a new market cycle. So I don't really have any doubt in my mind that over the next coming months, that DGB will at least visit here. Okay, at least go 300 to 400% from here. Whether it will make a new all-time high or not, I'm not sure. We'll have to really. It probably will in the future, but whether that will happen in this leg of the money coming in or not, it's hard to say. So we're going to play these moves because we don't want to get caught out there expecting these huge targets. I'm only expecting huge targets on a couple of better project coins. A lot of other coins, I'm taking the moves as they come. If it's going to make 100, 150%, 200% move, take it. Get out of the market. Maybe play something else, stack up your Bitcoin, and then if it moves again, throw more Bitcoin at it and understand the levels that you can play to get in and get out of the market. So when you see older coins like this turning around for a new market cycle, it kind of shows you that we're getting ready to start new, larger pictures. Okay, and we can see that a reflection of that here in the momentum strength on the weekly. Look at this weekly strength turning up. Weekly MACD getting ready to, the histogram here, getting ready to cross and start to paint to the upside. So there's a lot of potential here in the coming months to hold some of these coins for 300-400% gains. I mean, there's going to be a lot of big gains in cryptocurrency in 2018. And I think even bigger gains because for me, I've been trading this since 2014. So when I first was trading this, there wasn't that much liquidity. You could put maybe a couple $1,000s into an altcoin and triple your money, maybe 10 times on your money. But that was it. You couldn't go crazy. Like now there's enough liquidity in these markets that you could, go in with 10 Bitcoins and, triple your money, quadruple your money. So there's a lot of money to be made in these altcoins. And it makes sense as the user growth happens in cryptocurrency and Coinbase becomes the #1 downloaded app in the world. Now all these people got coin, and now they're finding out that they can trade this shit on Bittrex and other exchanges against Bitcoin. And even Bittrex, I think they had to go offline for a minute, and they reached the maximum capacity of users, and they had to shuffle their shit a little bit because everybody's coming into this now, and it's growing at a very rapid rate. And remember, all of these tokens have limited finite supply. And I talk about that a little bit all the time as far as how everything here is market cap divided by available supply. That's why coins that have low supply, boom, once the market interest comes, they're going to go. That's why Zcash is advancing fast. So just keep rolling through here. Coins like Doge, okay, same thing. Weekly, very strong. Actually, the weekly strength is a lot stronger right now, but we're also a little bit more off the bottom than DGB. Same thing. All of these older coins, the charts look the same. If you understand what you're looking at here, man, I'll tell you, this looks the same to me as it did back here. And with a possibility to make a newer high, like a new all-time high. So there is a massive amount of opportunity to gain in the coming months in cryptocurrency. All right, I'm just going to keep rolling through here. EOS, nothing's really new about that. Like I said, I'm going to keep holding that and see if it can't get up here to these higher levels. But just to break it down, I'm kind of mapping this one out in the logarithmic chart as well because it's making a very expansive rise. Nice trend here on the daily even, breaking out next target zone from the extension of this move right here. I think it's going to run all the way to the top and hit $20 to $25, up in $23 zone. So I'm going to hold that for there. I mean, it's been a good ride so far, very well in profit. If it starts to break down, definitely I'll let you guys know to get out of it. But for right now, it still looks very strong, and it could continue to climb. Even if it dipped back down, I would still hold on to it as long as it held $7 at this point. As long as it holds $7. All right, ETH is getting on a tear. I mean, this is going to be one that we're just going to keep holding for months. At least for me. I sold a good amount to take profit from the initial entry as far as US dollar value, but there is a lot going on here with Ethereum that could happen. So when I look at it two different ways, hold up, guys. Let me turn this off real quick. When I look at it two different ways, I look at it against Bitcoin, and I see here we got a very expansive rise here, 2,000%, and then another very expansive rise, 2,000%. If we stay in this channel and do another expansive rise here of 2,000%, that's going to put us up around half a Bitcoin price. So there's other couple traders that have discovered this as well. This is a very good possibility, which kind of goes hand in hand with my idea of Ethereum making another huge parabolic rise against the dollar. Okay, equal to about this rise, about 7,000% there. This thing goes 7,000% for breakout. We are looking about $30,000 per Ethereum. I know it sounds crazy, but this is just one that is very well of a possibility to take that much of a parabolic rise against the dollar. I mean, nobody thought Bitcoin would be at $19,000 when it was at $100. Cryptocurrency is insane with the amount of market structure that can grow out of it when the momentum is right. This is all just a game of momentum. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys are starting to figure that out, that this is just a game of momentum and Fibonacci relationship to previous emotions that were displayed in the market, basically. Let's just keep moving here. All right, let's look about Litecoin real quick, and you can see this here. A lot of these coins doing the same thing. Look, now we're turning up on the daily again. 3 days pinned, but now we're breaking out again, and we're getting good 12-hour strength and turnover here on this new all-time high. So there's a very good chance that Litecoin is going to run for $500 within the next coming weeks. Like I said, all of these top market cap coins are going to go. They're really going to go. Litecoin over $500. Ethereum is eyeing up $1,000 very fast. I think within the next week it'll be over 800, 850, and then it will go for 1,000 by Christmas. By New Year's. And then once it breaks 1,000 with Ethereum, then it really does open up the door. It really does. What else was looking at? Okay, OMG from our entry is up. Let's see, how much are we up so far? About 40% or so. This is one here that I'm going to tell you guys from before we get to the target zone on this one, just because of the amount of strength that I see in the market now. This is one that now has broken the downward trend from the previous market cycle. So, meaning that this cycle here, all right, came down to the 88% retracement of this entire market cycle. Now, as we turn around, so to say, we're breaking this downward trend line. Okay, we're breaking this. Now we're pushing into the clouds. This would be the initial take profit zone if you were playing this swing on Forex. You guys have to understand, I come from Forex and other trading from before, so I'm playing harmonic moves, I'm playing Fibonacci moves, I'm trying to get percent gains. From here to here, that is a win, 80% of a move, of a technical place where it would meet resistance. Most likely what's going to happen, though, is we're going to come through here, we're going to build a floor of support, and we're going to be on the other side of the cloud and on the other side of the downtrend line. And this market cycle is going to grow again out of there. So once you see this thing on the other side of the 12-hour cloud, after it hits the target zone, understand that if we have a couple downward days in cryptocurrency where not everything goes up, there's going to be a couple days of red coming where everything's just red. But it'll bounce and it won't sell down nearly as much as it's gone up. So in that time when things sell back down, you have to understand that this will likely present another buying opportunity for a bigger picture to unfold. But right now, I'm looking for about an 80% swing right there, maybe 100% swing. All right, let's just keep moving. Because that's what QTUM did. We'll just look at that one as a good example. This was a beautiful entry, beautiful play. But the sentiment in the market and the strength in the market when I analyzed this wasn't the same. It looked to me like that we would meet resistance in this area and kind of fall back a little bit. This would be a good place to kind of, meet resistance 120, 130 and then fall back a little bit. But right now the market's so strong, it's showing itself that other coins like OMG, like we just talked about, could make a move like this right through the target zone and get to the other side of the cloud and show itself a whole new opportunity to make a new all-time high. So we'll look at QTime again. That's the thing. If I get out and it goes further, I usually hardly ever chase it. What will likely happen is the next time that it sells down and we have a couple of the days of red that come where everything kind of sells back down a little bit, or at least this one here looks like it really could meet some resistance right there at that line where it did. So I would be looking to get into this thing again down in here. If it wants to come down here and tag the cloud and kind of establish the support level here in this zone after it gets on the other side of the cloud and after it breaks the downtrend. Then I'll be looking to re-enter it again, understanding that there's a really bigger picture that could unfold over the next couple months with this. But I won't chase it. I'll wait. I'll try to get the retracement of it. And then if I miss it, I miss it. There's like a million other coins that you can trade, so I don't get emotionally attached to any of them. If I miss something, I'll look for another entry. If I miss it or it doesn't happen, I'll just keep moving. See, I think in this game, you guys have to just keep moving. Win, loss, whatever, Strat's like the older play where it was basically build the position in this thing for when it finally grinds its way up to the other side of this cloud. And now it's starting to do that. So I would expect Stratus to get finally going in the next couple months up into our target zone. And even this is one that I do think could make a new all-time high or could make a new market cycle, meaning it could get another leg out of it that goes 7,000%. All right, so if this thing gets another leg out of it that goes 7,000%, you're not going to care about holding it for a month back in November. All right, this is like I'm planting seeds for bigger yields to come in the future because I'm not. When you have to diversify. I'm not trying to just hold Bitcoin. I want to hold a couple bigger alts, and this was a mid-cap alt that I wanted to do this experiment with that I really think that could go another 7,000%. All right. Waves is finally moving. Same way so on this one. It's breaking on the other side of this 12-hour cloud. Good volume coming in. I would expect this to be up into this target zone in the next couple of days, honestly. But the same way so, it may fall back there and test this previous top. So it'll be worth taking profit off the table there, but then just holding this thing. Because once we clear this resistance, we're ramping up, we're clearing resistance, the money's pouring into cryptocurrency. We're creeping up on breaking $1 trillion. And I'll just tell you this, the way that things work, we break $1 trillion, we're gonna reach $2 trillion a lot faster than we reached $1 trillion. It'll just happen within a couple weeks. The market cap will double. All right, let's just keep moving. XRP, I still have buys at 3,000. I might have to bump them up and just buy here sooner or later, but I'm not convinced just yet. Just because this is the coin that everybody expects to pump, and this one always is a little kind of gets you like that. If you chase it, it sells back. So I'm just kind of waiting on this. I'm not attached to Ripple. I don't think it's great, or any of these coins are great. So when this presents its opportunity, it hits my buys down here, I'm in. Otherwise, if it comes back down here near the cloud and it presents another entry with some other indications of momentum turning and it getting impulsive again, then I'll jump on it because it has a huge picture to come. It all depends on how you want to play these coins. I mean, a lot of this shit right now, you could probably just buy a good amount of these coins and in May of next year, June of next year, pull them out from cold storage and start selling them and make a lot of money. But you'll probably make 3 times that amount of money if you play the swings in between. All right, let me just keep moving here. YYW. Slower picture, but I still think that this one is progressing in price. Since I'm holding from down here, I'm just going to continue to hold, stop and break even at this point. Or actually, this one's on Bitfinex, so it has an OCO. One cancels the other, which is basically a stop and a target price at the same time. But this one doesn't have the momentum right now, but it could pick up within the next 2 days. I would expect it to hold this. It's making progression. Came up here, went flat. Now it broke out above that zone here. Kind of only wick down below. When I look at things like this, a lot of time I'll look at the newer coins like this. I'll look at the daily, and then I'll look at the line chart. And I'll say, okay, this thing did make a new all-time high, open and close on the day. And so it's still now progressing in price. It's just moving and consolidating, moving and consolidating. It's trending up, but it's not super, super impulsive right now. Zcash is moving away from my zone a little bit further than a little bit faster than I thought, but I have to take into consideration Ethereum lasted longer above the breakout zone, but also has a lot more tokens. So this, I think, is leaving this zone a lot faster and more impulsive because there's a lot less of a supply. So this is one I'm going to continue to hold. I think that Zcash will tag 1600 within a month or two. So it's definitely worth a hold. Took a lot of profit off the table, but right now I'm not in a position where I need to take profit from these. So I'm just going to let the rest of these winners ride. You know, that's the way I want to trade these, is like take profit off the table, pay yourself back, maybe take a little bit more profit so that you're actually making money, and then just let these coins ride and let the winners ride. If you take a large enough position in the beginning, you can afford to do that and still have a great reward at the end. All right, let me see. Nothing else that was jumping out at me that I wanted to jump into. Let me just roll through here and see if I see anything else. XEM did start moving. Missed that one. I mean, I talked about this several times. This one's going to make another market cycle as well. But a lot of these coins now, they're probably going to continue with this impulsive run, clear their clouds on like the daily and the 12-hour, and then fall back. And then a lot of people won't understand where we are in the cycle, and they'll sell it low, and then they'll provide a better opportunity. So even though that I think that this is going to go above 14,000 again, I really wouldn't buy it here unless I saw it on the other side of the cloud, or I could see it come back down and test like 3,500. And then let's see. That's about it. Like I said, there's nothing else I want to jump into actively right now. I think that we're in a lot of really good winning trades, and I really think that within the next couple of weeks here, cryptocurrency is going to take off between now and the new year. And I don't expect it to slow down, guys. I really don't. We are at the verge of something very, very big happening as far as like mainstream adoption of this technology, and people realizing that you can come into these markets and make way more than you can trading stocks, penny stocks, futures, forex, whatever. Like, people are realizing that now with way less risk. With way less risk. That's about it. I mean, it's just kind of like with DGB. Let's talk about real quick LBC, because that one will probably make a move as well. Large market cycle completing. Although this one's still lower here, I would expect this one. This one seems like it has more overhead resistance. So if you see it pushing into the cloud, it'll probably chop around in there for a while. But this one will eventually make another move and has the potential as well. It's kind of like Digibyte, Library, SC, Siacoin. They're all those older coins that made cycles and now are starting to get that market interest again. And they want to create new waves. So this is the beginning of something new. So when you see stuff like this with these older coins, this is showing us that even stuff like this is getting play again. So these are my kind of indicators of huge potential moves to come on some of these coins. I mean, this one went 1,700%, 1,900%. So there's a lot of waves that could come out of here in the next coming months. So when I see some good entries on these, I'll put them out there. But it seems to me like I'm almost expecting a day or two of some sellback pretty soon. I mean, everything keep moving, but I would rather buy this once I saw it come up and then sell back down and kind of scare everybody out, or at least get on the other side of some serious resistance. Okay, it's cutting through the 12-hour cloud. The daily, it's pushing. 129, 125. So this is one of those same situations. I talked about this in the spring. Sometimes I'd rather buy something 50% higher with confirmation of trend and continuation than buy it in the unclarity zone. Because even if I buy it 50% higher and I understand that it could go, another 200, 300, 400%, then there's still a trade there. Because I'm not worried about getting into a specific coin now because I think that coin's hot. I'm just a trader that's trying to take a swing between point A and point B to double my Bitcoin, triple my Bitcoin, quadruple my Bitcoin. So I want to make sure that it's the safest time for me to get in and get out of those trades. But there's a lot of opportunity showing itself here on the larger pictures for a lot of these coins. A lot of them. There's a weekly, very strong. Same thing here. MACD going to cross. We are looking at the week. Let's look at the monthly if we have it. We might even get a cross on the monthly. Yeah, so we're just at the bottom. This is the bottom of the market. That's the beautiful thing about some of these coins and cryptocurrency is that even these markets that sell down, that fake everybody out and have so many bag holders that held for so long, like there's so many people that'll hold on to a coin when it drops 100%, or more. It has to be way more than 100% that it drops. Hold up. Yeah, it's dropping like 1,200%. So people that will hold on to a coin for that long and still has enough market interest to turn around and get played again. So when you see things fall off tremendously, when they get on the other side of the cloud and they get market interest and momentum again, it opens up the doors for new levels. I mean, just to run back up here to these tops right here, to that zone, 150%, 160%. I'll take that. I mean, yeah, that's where you have to play with the non-emotional attachment. I will buy, if I see there's a move there, I will buy 5 Bitcoins worth of DGB and come out right here with, 100 Bitcoin. I mean, I'm sorry, with like 10 Bitcoins, 12 Bitcoins up in here. So, and make like hundreds of thousands of dollars in one trade. So there's momentum here now and there's liquidity, and this wave up for cryptocurrency is going to be way more profitable than this wave was back here because there's a lot more liquidity, a lot more people playing the game, and Bitcoin's worth a lot more. So there's a lot more to be made. All right, guys, keep stacking it. Cheers.